Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
My friends call me Betsy.
Hi, Betsy. You're everybody's friend.
I hope so.
Maybe not everybody. You don't want to be friends with everybody.
I hope not.
That's too many friends. Anyway, today is yet another day we are watching a movie that we haven't seen.
A random selection.
Yes, if it's in July, this year anyway, it is a random movie. And today we're going to be watching a movie from 2018 that has been on our list since 2018.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It is 8th Grade. Betsy, neither of us have seen this movie.
Nope. Now is the time, though.
And this was my selection.
Yes. You were trying to figure out we had one slot.
Yeah, we had one slot to fill this month.
You were trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
This was a suggestion, and we're going for it.
We're going for it. And it's because somebody said, oh, I listened to your Promising Young Woman episode, which was episode 3, by the way.
100 million years ago.
I re-listened to that podcast, and good God, I did not like how that sounded.
That was the one where we began our technical difficulties, if you recall.
I don't remember there being a problem there.
We had 2 mics, and one didn't work.
But that was the bad part.
We didn't know that until we were already done.
Yeah, now we're cheaping out, and we only have one microphone. Anyway, I re-listened to that thing, and we talked about Bo Burnham.
Because he's in that movie.
Because he's in that movie as an actor, and he's not really in anything else because he's just a stand-up comedian. But I was reminded he made a movie.
Yes, he wrote and directed this movie, which is interesting because the star of it is a young girl.
Right.
So an interesting choice for a guy who is known for writing goofy songs.
Sure, and I don't really know much about Bo Burnham as a comedian. I like comedians, but I've never really looked into his thing. I know he got really popular in 2020 or 2021 when he put out that special. I never watched it. You did.
I did. I enjoyed it. That is the extent of my experience with his body of work.
Yeah.
And obviously Promising Young Woman.
Sure. And he's younger than us.
A little bit, yeah.
And I know that this movie itself is based around a young girl, like you said. Elsa Fisher is the actress's name. She got nominated for Best Actress at the Golden Globes for this role.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that had a lot of momentum and then just kind of fell off a cliff. A lot of people were saying, well, this will get nominated for all kinds of Oscars. And then it got bupkis.
Right. A lot of buzz around this movie, maybe getting a Best Picture nod. But, didn't get anything.
Did not.
So, well, before we move on, Betsy, what do you know about this movie?
I genuinely don't know, anything about this other than I assume it's about a girl who's in the 8th grade.
Wow.
And, coming of age, and it's supposed to be really touching and hit home for anybody, which is, pretty much everybody who lived through middle school.
Sure. And I understand that it is in modern times. It's not like a flashback to when, Bo Burnham was in 8th grade. It is set in modern times with, modern technology. And my understanding here is that it's a lot of what kids are going through these days when it comes to, social media and bullying and all sorts of other shit that we never had to go through.
No. As difficult as middle school was for us, it's way more difficult now.
Yeah. So anyway, that all being said, that's all I know about the movie. So we're going to go and watch 8th Grade. We'll be right back. And we're back. Betsy, did you have all the feels during 8th grade?
That is one of the most awkward and uncomfortable movies I think I've ever experienced because it's so real. It's so real.
Yeah.
I get why people were talking about how this is a really honest version of what it's like to be in middle school, especially in 2018. And even now, 5 years removed, it would be so different. Well, it'd be different though, as far as like the technology and everything would go. But
I mean, they're different social networks and things change like that,
Yes.
but it's about the same.
yes, but the root of it is middle school is a fucking awkward time.
It's the most awkward.
And it does not help if you are a quiet, introverted type of person.
You know, like an only child, maybe. And yeah, Betsy, this movie spoke to me more than a lot of other movies of this type have, because I was that quiet, awkward, anxiety-ridden kid with not a lot of friends who, like, was kind of in my own head. I didn't have, the internet or technology or anything like that. I just kind of kept to myself for the most part, and whatever friends I had were idiots. You know?
Well, yeah, because most of them, when you're in grade school, they're boys.
Yeah.
And boys are idiots.
Yeah.
You were just reading the difference between the boys and the girls when Bo Burnham was observing them was the
Yes.
boys were talking about video games and the girls were talking
Right.
about their souls.
Right. Girls who are doing vlogs on YouTube and whatever else. Now it's TikTok. But the girls of this age are talking about themselves and their feelings. And boys are just fucking idiots. They're talking about video games and wrestling and all the other shit that you're into when you're that age, like I was. I was into wrestling and video games at that age.
Because you were an idiot.
I hung around idiots.
This is true. You knew the world that was presented to you.
Yes.
And in the 90s, that's what it was. In 2018, it was Facebook and Snapchat. But I love how quickly in this movie they say, no one uses Facebook anymore.
Facebook is mentioned by one of the parents saying, oh yeah, just send her an invite on Facebook. It's like, Mom, no one uses Facebook.
Well, they use Snapchat and Instagram in this. So this is
Yes.
even pre-TikTok.
Yeah.
And now there's even more social media apps that I don't know about.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is why I say even 5 years removed from this movie, it would still be a different experience for the kids going through it.
Sure, I get that, but I think the overall thing would be the same now, even 5 years removed from when this movie got put out anyway. Everybody's still on apps, they're just different apps.
Yes. The comment, though, that boys are very different than girls, they definitely play that up through this movie.
Oh, yeah. And not only because of the middle school boys, even the high school boys that she encounters are just fucking idiots.
Oh, yes. The class superlatives of best eyes goes to Aiden. Aiden, the boy with the good eyes. Who's a fucking idiot. This guy that she is just gaga over is sitting in class like making ape faces, talking about blowjobs. And he is just completely addicted to his fucking phone, as is everybody in this movie.
Everybody is addicted to their phone in this movie.
But they're like having a drill and he's playing a game. And she's like, what are you doing? Playing a game.
Well, everybody's on their phone just scrolling.
Right, but it's not until she says, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. I have this folder of dirty pictures that she has his undivided attention.
When she heard from somebody else, oh yeah, he's a total dick. He would hang out with somebody because she wouldn't send him dirty pictures.
Meanwhile, he is shoving his gum up his nostril. Like,
Right.
this guy's an idiot.
Like, you're staring at him and you're just gaga over just his eyes when you're not looking at the rest of him.
Oh, as a girl who once was young and had crushes on every boy. Well, not every boy, but you get the point. You look back now and go, what the fuck was I thinking?
Oh, yeah. I hear ya.
That might be the single best line in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. Janine Garofalo is obsessed with Alan Cummings' character, and she's like, I was very much in love. It was not a crush. I was very much in love. And when he shows up at the reunion, she goes, that's Sandy Frank? What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
That is an absolutely true feeling. But in the moment, you don't think about that because your body is full of hormones and everything is awkward.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing here is, especially when she's hanging out with the high school kids, the girls are mature.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, those girls may as well be in college, like late college, and those boys seem like they were from middle school. Like, the way they were acting.
Yeah, they were on the even plane,
Right.
which is why so many boys in high school tend to date freshmen.
Yeah.
But not the other way around as often. Most high school girls do not date middle schoolers.
No.
That's a bad decision. And then the only other real boy that gets a lot of screen time is Gabe.
The cousin.
The cousin, who, when we are introduced to him at the pool party, he is so woefully unconcerned with whatever anyone else thinks of him.
And you know what? If you can get away with that at that age, man, you got it made. You're not going to have all of the terrible scarring things that happen to you when you're that age if you don't give a shit.
I think some kids who embrace their weirdness at a young age, they make it through because they're like, I don't need to worry about this because eventually I will be out of this situation.
And if you can find like-minded other people,
the weirdos
that you can hang out with
and
be weird with, man, you're on easy street.
Yeah, it took me a while to find my weirdos, but once I found them...
Hi. Hi.
You are one of my weirdos.
I came much later.
Well, and you are much more akin to Kayla in this movie than I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching this movie thinking, I was definitely awkward, and I had a hard-ish time, but I think it helped where I grew up, when I grew up, because I was in a small school.
Yeah.
I also didn't go to a public school.
Yeah. You had to be friends with everybody. To a point, you at least needed to know everybody. I, on the other hand, went to let's just talk about high school. I went to a much, much larger high school than you ever did.
You went to a huge high school.
Yeah, my graduating class was just under 400 kids.
Mine was 14.
Yeah.
Small difference.
So there's a big difference between Betsy and me, but when it comes to me in middle school, I didn't go to middle school. The school district where I grew up, my elementary school was kindergarten through 6th grade. My junior high, not middle school, junior high went 7th through 9th. The high school was a 3-year high school.
Well,
it's the only 3-year high school in this state.
That's stupid.
And they changed that a little bit after I moved away. I moved away from my hometown just before my freshman year. And I moved to a 4-year high school. I started high school 9th grade in 1999.
When you were this girl's age.
Yes.
And life is hard. And now we're going to uproot you.
And yeah, exactly. I'm going to be uprooted, put into a completely different scenario where I only had 2 years of those awkward years. I was just shoved right in with a bunch of people I had no idea who they were.
And you were an introvert.
Yeah. And I was telling myself, because of course I was in my own head, I was telling myself, you know what, Trent? You're going to move to this new town and you're going to reinvent yourself. You're going to be a completely different person. I don't think I've ever told you this.
The coolest guy in the world.
Where I had these grand plans in my head that I was going to be a cool kid and I was going to be liked. That didn't happen.
Well, Trent, that's literally what this movie is. She leaves herself a video message from her first week of 6th grade full of her hopes and dreams about middle school. And part of the reason she's having such a hard time is when she actually watches it, she realizes literally nothing has changed.
Yep.
She is not the coolest kid. She does not have a boyfriend. Frankly, she is disappointed in herself. She is so awkward and strange, and she hates the way she is. And she has this moment with her dad where she's just like, do I make you sad? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I just want to go over to her and hug her and say, you know what? It gets better. It's that whole thing about it gets better.
It's also literally everybody is having a shit time in middle school. If you are not having a shit time in middle school or high school,
you're not paying attention.
Either you've not been paying attention or you peaked too early.
Right.
So many people who peak in high school have a crap rest of their lives.
Right.
Most people who are the freaky little weirdos who have a terrible time in middle school and high school, they're the ones who wake up one day and start a podcast with their husband.
Yes.
But I just felt like I related to a degree, certainly not the same extent as you, for one main reason. I think I always knew I was a little bit of a weirdo, but I had 5 siblings.
Yeah.
And we were all a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, you had an outlet for a lot of that stuff. Now, I grew up an only child. I do have two half-brothers who are much older than I am. The youngest of the two is 10 years older, and I didn't grow up with them. So
No.
they grew up well outside of my life. But I did grow up with three female cousins who were 1 year younger, 3 years younger, and I think 5 years younger. So pretty close to my age. And those cousins I basically grew up with. They're like my sisters. At least for the time that I was living there.
Certainly you're by proxy, sisters.
Sure. And that was kind of my exposure to, interacting with other kids, because I didn't have a lot of friends in school. I had friends, but again, they were all idiot boys. And I had more fun with my cousins sometimes.
Yeah, I was the same way. I had more fun with my large group of siblings and cousins and the family where there was they just knew who you were. You could just be yourself and it didn't fucking matter. There was no pretense there.
Yeah, and it's different for you because you lived also in the country. You lived in a farmhouse. So it's not like you could just, hop on your bike.
You make it sound so antiquated.
Well, you couldn't just hop on your bike and go to your friend's house.
The sun would rise and the rooster would crow and I'd walk uphill both ways in the snow.
See, now you're getting it.
But yeah, I had that experience, but in this movie, to try to at least bring it some relevance to the actual movie, she is given the award of most quiet for the girls.
And it's not something that you ever strive to get.
No, and she even, the movie starts with her saying, if people would just get to know me, I talk all the time. But she keeps saying that, but then she doesn't do it because she's not actually that comfortable doing it.
I'm putting my hand up because as soon as she started talking about, they call me shy and quiet. I'm not shy. I'm not quiet. If they would only try to get to know me, that's me. That was me pretty much until I turned 22. Is about when that changed.
Because you met a bunch of loud females who said, you shall be our friend. Yeah. We have adopted you.
I got a job, like my first full-time job, or second full-time job. I worked with a bunch of, let's just say, loud-mouthed women who took me...
To put it politely.
Who took me... Oh, they would say much worse things about themselves. Who took me under their wing and said to me, we're going to break you out of your fucking shell, and you're going to like it. And that's exactly what happened.
And I am grateful to them because otherwise we would not have met.
It's true.
It wouldn't have happened.
Also, one of them knew Betsy growing up.
Yeah, I have a prior claim.
Yeah.
I have a prior claim to the person who broke you out of your shell.
When we put it on when we made it Facebook official, I got a message.
Because we're old and we still use Facebook.
Of course. I got a message from this gal who says, "Hey, I know her. She's cool." Good on you. Good pick.
Well, and speaking of people, when they were younger and different, that was an individual who I think was born fully formed.
Oh, yeah.
Because you told me, this is what she was like when I worked with her. I was like, yeah, she was like that when she was 9. Same thing. But if you went back and looked at my report cards, my parent-teacher situations, and I don't think people would believe this, but I was a very quiet child in school. And I don't think it was because I was introverted. It was because I knew there was a time and a place to be loud and boisterous.
You and all your siblings were like that. My understanding is because your parents drilled it in your head, or maybe the nuns around you. I don't know. Drilled it in your head.
There weren't that many nuns, but
they drilled it in your head. Okay, you can be yourselves at home because you're with your family, your siblings, your parents, your cousins, whatever. But when you're out in public, when you're in school, this is the time to be serious.
There are rules. There is a time and a place. We have indoor voices.
Right.
Yeah, I was very quiet and I was listening and paying attention. And I had my bouts of being a flighty little weirdo. But once I got to school, I would just kind of go do my own thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until high school that I was like, none of this matters. I'm not going to spend the rest of my days with this group of individuals. So that guy who's always an asshole, I don't know why he's an asshole, but I don't need to worry about him anymore.
Yeah.
And when I stopped letting him torment me, then suddenly it stopped being fun for him and I'm just like, cool. have fun being an idiot.
Right.
You know, I have no idea what happened to that guy because we don't stay in touch. One time I ran into him at a parking lot and pretended I didn't see him.
And I guess just a similar thing for me, like, yeah, I graduated with a much larger class, but I had just about as many friends in high school that I had in middle school and elementary school. And to this day, I only keep in touch with one friend from high school. She was my best friend for forever before I met you.
We're going out this week.
And we're going out this week. We keep in touch. We have a fun little tip for those of you who are about our age and you have a hard time keeping up with friends.
Which is probably all of you.
Yep. Make the time. Make a schedule. We try to keep a schedule to go out to eat once a month. We try to do once a month anyway. They have a couple of kids. It's a lot harder for them to keep a schedule. We don't have any kids, so we're just, hey, whenever you want to go.
This week's good.
Yeah.
Whatever night.
Yeah.
Except Thursday.
Right. I got a thing going on here. I got a doctor's appointment. I'm going to be sore after this, but... Right.
And sometimes it's as simple as they come over and we play Rock Band.
Hell yeah.
And those kids love to wail.
Hell yeah. So, yeah. Make it a routine. You'll thank yourselves later, but...
But speaking of trying, this is kind of the whole theme of this movie. I'm just going to keep trying to bring it back around because there's not a lot that really happens, but it's tied together with her videos that she's making for her little YouTube page where she has no views, 1 view, a handful of views, where she is giving out advice. And it's the thing that this entire generation that has come after us is born doing.
It is.
Is putting yourself on YouTube, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok. Your face. Your face.
And like that is something that is still taboo for me. Like I don't put my real face out there on video. I'll put a picture up here and there, but I don't like to be on video. That's just me.
It is that thing where this medium alone, like hearing the sound of your own voice.
It took us a while.
This has taken me so long to actually bear listening to the sound of my own voice. And, so bless all of you who have to put up with this all the time, let alone doing video where there's a whole nother element. And you've got this girl who isn't comfortable with herself, but she is a different person when she's making videos. Yeah. Up until the point she decides to stop making videos.
Right.
Like when the wall finally comes down and she's just like, I'm having a hard time and I don't know why anyone would listen to me. Right. You all deserve to hear it from someone who believes what they're selling.
Right. And what she's selling here is to herself. She's talking to herself because she knows that nobody's really listening to her. Mm-hmm. So when she's doing her videos just kind of in the background while things are happening, she's talking about being confident. She's talking about putting yourself out there and doing things that you normally wouldn't do. And just all of these different things that she is going through while we're watching it. She's just talking to herself. She's trying to encourage herself outside of the stressful thing that she is experiencing. She's trying to do it kind of after the fact, saying, you know what, you didn't have your confidence back then, but you just need to try. You just need to get out there and try.
Well, and the thing that they don't really get to and just say outright until the end of the movie is she got anxiety.
Yes.
She's just existing on this constant plane of, I feel like I'm going on a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. And even though I know nothing is happening, I'm freaking out.
She has a full-on panic attack.
Several. She has several panic attacks.
Before the pool party in particular, she gets forcefully invited by the mother of the girl.
Nobody wants her there, including herself.
Right.
The daughter doesn't want her. The mom is forcing her daughter to invite her.
Yeah.
She knows her dad and his, he's trying to get her to go.
Right.
And she doesn't want to be there, but everybody's like, you should go and you should put yourself out there and maybe you'll have a good time.
The girl says, hey, my mom's told me I need to invite you, so this is me doing it. Like, such a shitty way to do it.
Oh, yeah. No specifics, no enthusiasm. She's like, ugh, fine.
Right. I'm going to show my mother that I did it just to prove that I did it.
Yeah. Look, Mom, I'm sending a message. Here's her profile.
Right. So she goes over there late, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody's already there and having a good time.
God knows how long they've been there.
She goes into the bathroom with her bag and she's got to change into her swimsuit. And when she gets in there, she just freezes. And then she's like envisioning what is going on outside with everybody, and the way they're filming it and the way they are having the music, and I don't even know how to describe it, but it looks like a war zone. Like she's about to enter war.
It's an overwhelming experience.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you are having social anxiety, but you're also having physical anxiety. Body anxiety.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody proud of their body when they're 13. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I found a picture of myself a few years ago from what must have been the summer I grew to be the height I am now. But I still weighed about 100 pounds, which proportionally made me look very unusual. Like, I'm looking at this, and my clothes don't fit. My arms are down to my knees. I'm like, I don't even remember looking like that.
Right.
Thank God, because,
Just for context, Betsy and I are both like 5'11".
Yeah, I'm like 5'10", and at that time I was 5'10" and 100 pounds, which proportionally makes life difficult, and I've never fully recovered.
Yeah?
Every time I need to do dancing for performing, I'm just like, you don't understand. I'm a wacky waving inflatable tube arm man. It happened when I was this girl's age, and this is what I have to live with. It's what I've got to work with.
Yeah.
But yes, she goes through that there. Then later on in the movie, she's left alone with one of the doofus high school boys.
Right.
And this goes about as badly, as quickly as you would imagine.
Yeah.
And then he is like blaming her. Like, I was just trying. So he is giving her a ride home. They're left alone. She's in the back seat. He's in the front seat. Instead of her getting in the front, he stops the car and gets in the back seat.
And then asks her to play truth or dare. And immediately you know where this is gonna go.
Too far is where it's gonna go.
Yeah, and it's him just oh god, teenage boys are fucking awful. It's him basically trying to get her to go further than where she wants to go. And to his credit, when she says no, he stops. But I think maybe the worst thing that happens is afterwards, she stays in the back seat, and while he's driving her home, she just is made to feel bad for saying no. Saying, oh, the first time you're going to hook up with a guy, you're not going to be good at it, and I'm just trying to help you. Why don't you let me try to help you?
And she's apologizing. No, it's fine. Don't apologize. It's fine. It's fine, except you're a terrible person.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then she goes home and runs to her room, slams the door, and starts crying on the floor. And they cut the sound here.
Yeah.
But Dad is like trying to comfort her, and she's like shaking and like doesn't want her to touch him, like get away from me kind of a reaction. And that is really fucked up. And that happens multiple times a day with high school boys and high school girls. It's just people pushing the boundary. I get it. You're hormonal teenagers and you want to experiment and go farther than you're comfortable, but consent, it's the age of consent, guys.
Yeah.
And like at first she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And then when he pushes her is when she kind of snaps at him.
Right.
And
like,
that gets him to stop.
And she's even like saying more than what she normally would. Like he asks her how far have you gone? And she says, third base.
I get those confused.
Actually, no, second base. I get those confused. And she's just trying to pull back, but at the same time, it's the societal expectation that you should be doing these things. No, you are barely a goddamn teenager. And where the fuck has this come from?
Where does this guy get off? Like, just pushing you this far. And then at the end, she's like, please don't tell Olivia, the cool high schooler I'm trying to be friends with.
Right.
Like, it's fucking devastating. They were having such a nice day. That was a great day for her.
It was, and the high school girl and her were just perfect together.
Well, I think, okay, it was a little more complicated than that. Like, she kept saying, Olivia, the older girl, was like, you're just like so cool and so laid back or whatever. It's like, yeah, because you're talking nonstop and she's not saying a word. I have friends like this where I'm the extrovert and they're the introvert. It's like, gosh, you're easy to talk to. It's because you haven't shut up the whole day.
And I say that they're perfect together because she's allowing Kayla, the girl, to be comfortable and listen and react and just do the things that you would normally do with a friend and not have any kind of expectations.
Yeah, it's very casual.
Yeah.
She's just like, well, you could just come and hang out with us, even though she's just sitting there listening.
Yeah. And you know what's the most weird about that entire interaction? They talk on the phone.
Oh, when she calls her.
What teenagers talk on the phone?
Again, this is written by a non-Gen Z.
Yep.
Now the Gen Alphas are rising up.
Oh, God.
It's happening trend. But I think there are moments in the movie that there are some giveaways that it was written by not a 13-year-old girl.
Sure.
That's probably one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many, because I think most people have a really awkward high school and middle school experience that they could draw from to write a film like this.
Yeah.
One thing I was impressed by was in the trivia was there was very little to no improvisation on this script.
Yeah.
Which is incredible because when you're watching like the first scene, the number of times she says, like, and whatever.
Uh-huh.
The number of times she does that, I just wanted to be like, stop, make it stop. But it's perfect.
Authentic. It's
Yes.
authentic because when you don't have the confidence of your own speaking voice, like I'm stumbling over my own words sometimes.
You don't have a mastery of linguistics, Trent?
I've been doing this for 240 plus episodes, and sometimes I flub my lines even though they're just coming out of my own mouth.
This is all improvised.
Yes.
There is no script. Sorry.
Well, and just to go along with some of the authenticity stuff that we keep talking about, I just wanted to talk about some of the more quiet scenes where she's just being herself. She's being a 13-year-old girl or however old she was. You know, it's her being on her phone and her having access to the internet, like full access to the internet.
There's no filters.
There's no parental anything on her stuff.
Dad's just letting her do her thing.
And that's commendable. You trust your daughter. And
it's a choice he's made as a parent.
It's a choice. But she's always on her phone, obviously. I mean, hey, Betsy and I are on our phones too.
Listen, we are very guilty of being on devices constantly. But watching someone else do it and what they're watching, that was really hard for me to look at, where she's just like scrolling through Instagram, hearting like goofy Snapchat filters
of her like classmates' videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like taking BuzzFeed quizzes and do this.
Yeah.
And I used to do these things too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the fact that they do it from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. Every frame, I would be willing to bet there is somebody in this movie on their phone.
Yeah.
With rare exception, someone in this movie is on their phone the whole movie.
And along with her being on Instagram, of course, she stalks her crush, Aiden.
Yep. Oh, God, I was waiting for that to go terribly wrong.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot of like really bad things to happen. Number one, relating to the actual thing she wrote down in her notebook. Like things that I'm currently right now, things I want to do, and like the thing about, boyfriend, parentheses, Aiden, and then over there, he has to be sexy. The first thing she wrote down, he has to be sexy. What do you think sexy means?
When you're 13?
When you're 13?
Oh, it means something so different at 13.
Yes. And when she's scrolling through, I guess, Instagram, she goes to his page and she does the thing. I don't know if you ever did this, Betsy. She does the thing with her hand where she's going to kiss her hand and make out with her hand while thinking about the boy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the thing she's doing.
And then her dad barges in and she throws her phone across the room and breaks it.
I will give you that because this movie is not full of like teen movie cliches where most teen movies, they're too clean. They're too scripted. Mm-hmm. They feel like there is a certain degree of reality to this.
Yeah.
But mostly I can tell you're just an actor reciting lines. This one, I feel like you pointed a camera at some poor girl.
Yeah.
And we all are going through this together.
Right. And again, authenticity. We've covered some high school comedies or high school movies. One thing I always say, Betsy, they don't go to class in all these other movies. They go to class here.
All these people did was go to class.
Yeah. That's being in middle school. You go to class. That's your life.
And the teachers are embarrassing
Yeah.
and dabbing and it's like,
The principal
stop,
dabs.
stop. And then when they took them to the high school and made them walk single file with hands on each other's
Yeah.
shoulders, that was the most embarrassing fucking thing I could imagine that teacher doing
being
to them.
trotted out in front of the high schoolers while they're like pointing and laughing and taking
I
pictures.
promise those kids know how to get in a line and stay together.
Jesus.
If they have made, it was bad. And then they had to, of course, include the moment where they're watching a sex ed
Yep.
video, or at
Co-ed.
least human reproduction in the very least. And it's gonna be lit.
Right.
Trent.
The woman on the video says, "Oh, hey guys, it's gonna be lit."
No.
Yeah. And again, that was the weird thing about that. It was co-ed. Like, I think that was the sex ed class.
I don't know what it was, but that
They're
kid...
talking about your fucking pubes growing in.
Was that kid jerking off or was he not jerking off?
I don't think he was jerking off.
Because everybody was looking at him and screaming that he was.
I mean, the joke is, you know that the sex ed class is going to happen eventually, and they talk about that. At least they did in mine.
Do we really need that class anymore? Like, if people have unfiltered access to the internet like this girl
Oh, God.
did.
Oh, no. You absolutely need to have that, because you need to have it, non-sensationalized and just the facts, man. That's what you need.
We need to give you some specifics about how things actually work.
Yes.
Because there are some misconceptions of full-grown men who don't understand tampons.
Right. And like, when we went through our class when I was a boy, we never went through any of the girl stuff. It was all about the dudes. We didn't learn.
They separated you.
Yeah, we went to separate classrooms.
Nah, just give it all to them.
Yeah. I think
Make it as awkward as possible.
I think if it's gonna already be awkward, have the boys and girls in one class.
Yeah, ain't nobody here enjoying themselves.
Just learn about it. It's not a big deal.
It's the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Just, this is like 2 days. Get over it. Get over it.
2 days. It was like 2 hours.
Okay, 2 hours. It's very thorough. 20 minutes if we go at double speed. But the one thing that really stood out to me in this movie, they do active shooter training,
Oh,
Trent.
Betsy.
Oh, man. Is this that commonplace that we needed to include it in a movie now? Because that was
Even in 2017 when this movie was made.
that was really upsetting to me.
That was a fucking gut punch.
And the fact that everybody was so casual about it.
Right, and the fucking boy was saying, "Oh yeah, I wish they would come in here. I'd kick their ass."
And the teacher is in like a SWAT uniform with a big fake gun going, bang, bang, you're dead.
Yeah, and thank you to the drama club for staging themselves as being victims. And one of the girls had a fucking bullet hole painted on her forehead.
Yeah, what do you do if you hear gunshots far away? We run in another direction. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, do you understand the training that you are having right now?
Yeah.
And then hiding under their desks, and she uses that as an excuse to go and talk to Aiden.
Yeah, to go and crawl over and talk about blowjobs.
What a strange world we live in.
Yeah.
That scene happened. And it's just like, yep, just another day in middle school.
It's just like another fire drill.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, speaking of fire, let's talk about time capsules. Betsy, I have a story.
A story, Trent.
A bit of a story. We did a time capsule for my 6th grade. Now, remember, my elementary school was until 6th grade. When I was in 6th grade, we put a time capsule in the ground from my class at my elementary school. Now, I ended up moving away like 2 or 3 years after that happened. And some years after I moved away, the town I grew up in decided, you know what, this elementary school is too old. We're going to tear it down. And you know what we're going to put up in its place, Betsy? An Arby's.
Yes, the town decided we must destroy education, relocate it.
Yeah.
Because we need our curly fries. We need the meats.
They got the meats. And back in 2002, I don't think they had the meats. Anyway,
They had some meat.
Anyway, yeah, they tore down my elementary school because, number one, yes, it was very old. I didn't have air conditioning.
Oh yeah, my elementary school got torn down last year.
Yeah. It was so old that my own mother actually went to the same elementary school. But again, they tore down the school in like 2002. They put up this fucking Arby's, and I never heard a damn thing about the time capsule. It is now 20 plus years later, and I've never heard of them digging anything up. I've looked it up a couple of times over the past couple of decades. Not a thing.
For all you know, it is still under there.
I need to get myself a jackhammer and a shovel, and I need to find this fucker.
You need somebody with the technology, the sonar, the radio waves. This can detect it, send sonic waves, and will tell you if there's something under the ground.
I just need a metal detector. It's no big deal.
Well, that too. Is it made of metal, Trent?
I'm sure it is.
But if you're not positive, how can you find it?
I'll hire a professional anyway. But yeah, just the fact that, we had a time capsule. I remember putting something in there. I know there's something related to Nickelodeon in there.
It was the 90s.
Yeah, it was the 90s. So.
Well, she had something related to Nickelodeon in her time capsule.
Right.
She had a little SpongeBob.
She had a little SpongeBob, and it was revealed later that it was a USB stick. Betsy, I didn't have a USB stick until I was in college.
I literally didn't know what that was until I got to college.
Yeah.
And then I'm still out here using floppy disks like an idiot.
Right.
And actually, I think I bought floppy disks and the computer was brand new and didn't have a floppy drive.
Right.
So I couldn't even use the things.
You even told me a story, like you got a computer tower that you brought to college with you.
Right. And somebody came in and they wanted to like print a paper or something.
Right.
And he brought out a USB stick and he just like popped open this flap that I didn't even know was a part of the tower. And he sticks it in to a place I didn't know was there. And he's like, yeah, no, you put your files on here. I was like, the fuck you can. I'm a child of the floppy drive. What is this technology? Yeah, blew my mind. I'd never seen one. I'd never heard of one.
Right.
I was barely on the internet in those days. How the fuck was I supposed to know?
Right. But yes, back to her shoebox full of memories. She had, a bunch of pictures of Justin Bieber because Justin Bieber.
And like movie stubs for
she had a
Wreck-It Ralph.
No, she had a movie stub for the Lego movie.
And Wreck-It Ralph.
Was it Wreck? Okay,
yeah,
I didn't even see Wreck-It Ralph. Okay.
And she had an autographed playbill from Bring It On, the musical.
Right. Which, by the way, do you even know where this was set?
Like what town?
Yeah.
No idea.
What part of the country?
Nope.
I thought the dad had like a Pittsburgh Penguins blanket on the couch or something. It kind of looked like it. But this is basically every town USA.
Kinda.
It could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be California. It could be Washington State.
Yeah.
It could be Ohio. I have no idea.
It seems like a Midwestern thing, at the very least.
A little bit. But yeah, she has this box that's kind of full of nothing. Like, it's just a bunch of crap that she put in a box and they held on to it. That poor school had to hold all of those in a cupboard somewhere for 3 years to give these kids.
Well, they did talk about that it was a time capsule. I don't know whether or not they put it anywhere special.
I don't think they like buried it in the ground. They probably put it in a Tupperware.
Mine was in the ground, goddammit.
Yeah, but you didn't have one for yourself. You had
it was
that
a
you
class.
put together as a class.
Yeah, it was a class time capsule.
They each made their own, and at the end of the movie, she burns it. And when her dad helps her do this, he says, "What's inside?" Just my hopes and dreams.
Oh, nothing, just hopes and dreams. It's like, oh. So we're going to have a conversation here. And yeah, that conversation was really good.
It's hard for any kid to open up to their parents. And sometimes it is equally or more difficult for the parents to open up to their kids, especially when the whole rest of the movie, he is just this dorky dad who's following her around. She's like, oh my God, Dad.
Right, and she's doing the teenage girl thing against whatever parent it happens to be, saying, oh my God, can you just please let me do what I want to do?
You said I could do whatever I want on Friday. It is Friday.
Right.
Stop talking to me.
Right, and he's still trying to talk to her a little bit like she is a child because she is a child, and as a parent, you don't really know when you can start to have the more adult conversations.
Just talk like a human.
Like they do here. And again, there's a threshold being crossed here. And it's maybe not a big one, but it is something.
And I cried.
So did I.
A little bit.
So did I.
Little bit. And it's, like I said, it's really, really hard, especially in her situation where it's just the two of them.
Right. They barely touch on the whole mother situation. Essentially, what I got out of it was the mom left after she had Kayla. Yeah. And that was it.
Very young.
Very young. Like, she wasn't even walking yet.
No. And he has this moment where he says, I didn't really do anything.
Right. I just kind of watched.
You just sort of became.
Right.
And it's been a wild journey. But, he says the things you wish all parents would say to you. Like, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you and I want you to do well and I don't have to worry about you because I've been observing you long enough to know you'll be fine.
I was really scared at the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing and all the things that you would normally do as a young parent. Especially when you're a single parent, when you have all of these other things that you have to worry about along with this child. You have to maintain a household.
There's also a certain cultural expectation when it's a father, because that's a whole different ball of wax.
Right.
Everyone has these presumptions about, moms and the maternal instinct and all that.
Sure.
Yeah, but dads, they gotta do the work.
Yeah, they gotta do it all.
They're not a bunch of, guys that just sit around. Most fathers participate.
At least they should anyway.
They should. And in this situation, he gots to, because he's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a very nice moment. It was very sweet. But the rest of the movie, he's just sort of like, watching them in the mall.
Right.
Because
this really creepy guy just watching us this entire time.
He doesn't know what else to do. Like, it's that threshold of, I need to let you go because in a few years you're gonna fully be gone, but also I just want to be a part of your life.
Which, you know what, I can understand. Being a 38-year-old man, would you really want your teenage daughter hanging out with a bunch of people she just met?
Right. You also want to be supportive because this is a girl who desperately needs friends and you want her to have friends.
Yes.
Like, you've been telling her, go out, have friends, have fun. Mm-hmm. And now she's doing it and you're freaking out.
Yeah, if there's anything that I would have wanted, it is more of that relationship between these two. But I think it really works in the movie because they do have that one payoff around the fire. Like, you get enough of her kind of being mean to her dad, but not really intentionally being mean. It's the teenage mean that, like, just kind of cuts you.
Yeah.
Just death by 1,000 cuts from a teenage girl.
You're just being weird and you're breathing. Like, stop breathing. I don't want you to crash the car.
Right.
Just, like, don't look at me, but be quiet.
No,
but don't breathe.
You can look at the road, but don't be weird while you do it. Okay?
It's just like,
okay.
I'm so sorry for existing.
I'm not trying to do anything. Oh my God.
One wrong look, one wrong word.
Yeah.
It all comes crashing down.
And you cannot take it personally as the father here. You cannot take it personally because.
And girls in particular, as somebody who was a teenage girl, we're heinous little bitches at times when we are teens.
They know how to cut you.
Yes, we do.
Yes. All right, I got one more thing from my side of the world here. I wanted to mention the high school girl that she befriends. The first day they're in the school, she's wearing a Dare t-shirt.
She sure
or
is.
A tank top or whatever it is.
Do they still have Dare?
I mean, at least in 2017 they did. I think they still do.
They also might just ironically sell those t-shirts in stores.
It could be. But Betsy, we both had Dare. We had it in the 5th grade.
In the 5th grade.
And Betsy, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast before, but
I know what you're gonna say.
So for Dare graduation, you had to write a speech about how much you were really into Dare. And there was a competition and I won the competition. I had to read and memorize and recite my speech in front of not only my class and their parents, but all of the 5th grade classes in all of the fucking city.
The awkward, introverted middle school Trent.
This guy had to memorize a 1-page speech.
Love
and
it.
I did it. Every single line.
Good for you. You made it. You survived to tell the tale.
That's right. And to this day, I don't have a problem getting in front of people, which is strange.
Which is really counterintuitive, given everything we just said.
I have no problem with it.
Well, there you go then.
Anyway, that is pretty much all I had about this one, Betsy. Did you have anything else to mention?
The fact that there's an Enya song in this movie.
Sail Away.
That is a Bo Burnham touch if there's anything, because no 13-year-old knows Orinoco Flow.
Better known as Sail Away.
Better known as Sail Away. Like, you and I are hearing the intro, and I'm just like, yes!
Yeah, it's just the intro. I don't need to hear anything else.
Fucking A. Let's get some Enya in this bitch.
That's some high school stuff that we went through.
And they played the whole song.
Yep.
That was seriously like the entire thing.
It was the part where she was doing the BuzzFeed stuff and just fucking around.
Just
on her
mindless
phone.
scrolling in her room by herself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. But I would be willing to bet most people below a certain threshold have never heard of Enya.
Never heard of any Enya song.
No.
Let alone her herself.
Unless it's a TikTok thing now. Is it a TikTok thing? Please tell us.
Sure, everything is a TikTok thing. Well, Betsy, you know what isn't a TikTok thing?
What?
Emails.
I love emails.
I don't think they have emails on TikTok, do they?
Nobody emails. It's for like old people.
Well, if you're an old person and would like to email us about 8th grade, the movie, or your own experience, email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Speaking of teenagers, we got an email with the subject line, 14-year-old Robert De Niro.
A natural segue to a definitely relevant movie.
Of course.
To 8th grade.
This one comes in from Seth. Seth is a homie. He does another podcast called Movie Friends that he does with his friend Michelle. They also talk about movies that they have seen or haven't seen or something like that. It's a movie podcast. You know how those are.
To make friends.
Yes. He says, Trent, Betsy, De Niro? He says, hey, G Squad, because that's our last name.
Yeah.
Listen to your episode on Copland, a film that is near to my heart and my favorite Mangold film, a director that I like pretty much all of the stuff of his that I've seen. I agree that the sheriff's hearing is a metaphor. Think hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's kind of what Betsy was saying while we were watching it.
It's a metaphor.
It is. He loses his hearing initially for being a good cop and loses his hearing at the end for finally being a good cop again. The story is telling us that being a good cop in Copland costs something, and the sheriff pays an appropriate price to earn that distinction. Indeed he does. I had to say, De Niro sporting scruffy young man hair is the biggest delight of this movie.
It is so weird.
I never really thought about it until I read this email, and I'm like, yeah,
it stands out.
That's a choice.
It is a choice.
Yeah. He says his hair is absurd, not in a hate this way, but more in a OMG, I want De Niro to always look like a 14-year-old boy in his movies. Keep up the good work, officers. Salute emoji from Seth.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you, Seth. Go listen to his podcast. It's good.
I appreciate that we had a fan of Copland because, like we said in that episode, it's one that we've kind of heard off and on from people, but personally didn't know anybody who was like, oh my God, Copland.
Right. I've never heard of anybody else say, yeah, Copland is awesome. But we had some social media comments saying, yeah, it's an underrated gem.
Yeah,
it is.
We had some positive feedback.
Totally.
So we're happy to find anytime there's a movie like that, that there's an audience out there for it.
Or anything where somebody's playing against type. Like Sylvester Stallone being this guy who was like, kind of shy and shuffling his feet. It's a different kind of a thing for him.
A schlubby loser. He doesn't play that role very often, especially not anymore.
No. So, thanks again, Seth, for sending in that email. If you would like to be like Seth and start your own podcast,
or
alternatively, you can send us an email, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Again, we say it all the time. We're on all the social medias. Not on Threads yet, by the way.
Oh
We're
yeah, dear
working on
God,
that.
there's a whole new social media platform
yes.
since we started this episode.
Right, and like we put out the call like, hey guys, do you have any Blue Sky invites? Well, maybe that's not even going to be a thing anymore. Who knows?
Mastodon and Snapchat and Threads and Blue Sky. It's too much.
Many.
It's too much.
Too many
We're on
manage.
the big three, though.
Too many to manage. But yes, we're on the big three: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so far. And if we do more later, we'll let you know later.
Just keep checking back.
Yeah, check back, read all of the other social medias. But if you would like to support the show financially, we have a link in every episode description to go to the Spotify page where you can throw us $1 on there to help support our shenanigans. If you cannot support us financially, that's cool. What we would ask for you to do is just go to your podcast app of choice, rate us 5 stars, leave us a review if you are so inclined.
Support us emotionally.
Emotionally, because after a movie like this, I need some help.
We love feedback.
Yes. And again, another favor, if we could please ask you to go over to Spotify, find our page on there, just use the little search feature, and subscribe over there, play a few episodes, start an episode and let it run all night, and just put your volume down. I don't care. All we're asking you to do is help grow our numbers over there, at least temporarily.
That would be great.
Yeah. But that is the end of this episode. Betsy, I had a great time.
We've graduated.
This was an awesome
it's
episode.
time for high school.
I had such a good time doing this one. 8th grade is in the books. Betsy, it's on to high school for us.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I never want to do that ever again.
I'm a grown-ass woman and I'm never going back.
I'm never going back. That is the end of the episode, Betsy. Thank you again for being my co-host today and every day. We will be back to you with another episode of Never Seen It. But until then, my name is Trent.
My name's Betsy.
We'll be back to you next time.
Bye.